Hello, grade 11. Welcome back to our class, and this will be our fifth week for our statistics and probability class discussion. Okay, so I will now share my screen. Okay, so our topic for today is about the characteristics of a normal random variable. Okay, last meeting we already started the normal random variable, and what is it? And this is also called as the continuous random variable. When you say continuous, it has a normally or normal number, just like numbers with decimals, okay, or fractions. And we also already know how to find or identify if the score is below the mean or above the mean using the um, six formulas. We have three below the mean and three above the mean. Okay? And we can also find the density function of a given statement, okay, using its formula itself. Again, kapag hinahanap ang density function, this is not necessary to find the value. Okay, so that is actually we'll just find the function itself. We will just substitute the values of mean and the standard deviation. Okay, and then simplify lang natin yung pinaka-equation. That will be the density function. Okay, now let's continue with this one, the characteristics of a normal random variable. So these are our objectives. Do it for yourself, and hopefully we will uh, finish this three objectives. Okay. Okay. So we have the first characteristic of a normally distributed data. Is the first one we have a it says here a normal distribution is symmetric about its mean. What is symmetric? That's like if you're facing a mirror, your face on or your original face is actually the reflection. You can see the reflection on the mirror. And that is also what we call the symmetry. Okay? For example, I have two papers. I have a paper here. If I will fold it just like this, okay, itong nasa gitna na to, ito yung tinatawag na axis of symmetry. And these two sides are now symmetrical. Okay, that is about symmetry. Okay, so a normal distribution is symmetric about its mean. In a normally distributed set of data, the mean will be placed at the center. Okay, for example, this will be our normal curve. Okay, normally, yung ating pinaka-center is our mean. Okay, so that is the first characteristic. We have a normal distribution is symmetric about its mean. Okay, B. Again, moreover, approximately 50% of the data is less than the mean or below the mean, and approximately 50% of the data is greater than the mean or above the mean. Ayan, kung meron tayong ganyan na normal curve, yung part na to is 50% and this part is also 50%. Okay? 50% of the data must be below the mean and 50% of the data must be above the mean. Okay? So the second one. Since the mean, the median, and mode, this one has N and this one's D. Okay? The median and mode are all equal. That's letter B, okay? The median and the mode are also located at the middle of the distribution. Okay, so the second characteristic of a normally distributed data, yung ating three main main central tendency, correct? Our three central tendency, we have the mean, median, and mode, are normally or distributed equal. So, ibig sabihin nun, they are all equal. Tama? So, kung meron tayong, so yung mean natin nandito, yung median natin nandito, ano yung mode natin ay nandito. So, tatlo silang nandiyan. Okay? Got it? That's for the second one. Next. C, yung ating third characteristic. A normal distribution is thicker at the center and less thick at the tails. Okay? So a normal distribution is thicker at the center and less thick at the tails. As you can see here, our normal distribution, this one are thicker than these two up to the tails. Okay? So ang pinaka malapad, this is what is thicker, correct? Is at the center means that there are more scores located near the center of the distribution and there are fewer scores found near both ends of the distribution. Ibig sabihin lang daw nun is mas maraming scores na mas malapit dito sa center natin kaysa sa mga nasa gilid-gilid natin. That's the third characteristic. Okay? The last one will be the D. Approximately 68.26% of the area of a normal distribution is within one standard deviation of the mean. Okay? If you can still remember, kung meron tayong mean dito, meron tayong one standard deviation below the mean and one standard deviation above the mean. Correct? So we have the mean minus the standard deviation. That's for the one. And another one here will be above the mean, which is mean plus standard deviation. And its area, yung area ng buong yan, from these two ends, na one is standard deviation above the mean and below the mean, is 68.26%. 68.26%. Okay? Note that the area of a normal distribution refers to the graphical representation of the percentage, proportion, and probability of a normal distribution. Okay? So this will be the approximate value of the area between one standard deviation below the mean and one standard deviation above the mean. Okay? Next. In a given set of data, approximately 68.26% of the scores are located between the scores one standard deviation above and below the mean, correct? This means that in a normally distributed set of data, a score of that data has 68.26% chance of falling within one standard deviation from the mean. Okay? So, meron ka lang percentage na yung score na yun is magpo-fall doon sa gitna nung one standard deviation below the mean and one standard deviation above the mean. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin na ganun karami yun nandoon. That is the chance. 68.26% chance of falling. Okay? Na nandoon yung score mo sa gitna niyo. Okay? Okay, we may write this as a probability notation with this one, okay, as 0.6826 or 68.26%. E. In a given set of data, approximately 95.44% of the area of normal distribution is within two standard deviations of the mean. If we are only using Yung nauna kanina, 1 standard deviation below the mean and 1 standard deviation above the mean is only 68.26%. Right? Ito lang yan. And if we have from here to standard deviations below the mean and 2 standard deviations above the mean, okay, yung kanilang area naman is 95.44%. 95.44%. Okay? Again, as an explanation here, this means that in a normally distributed set of data, a score of that data has a 95.44% chance of falling within 2 standard deviations from the mean. So hindi ibig sabihin na ganun kalapad or ganun kadami yung data na nandoon. Okay? That means is pwedeng doon ma-fall yung score ng ating data. Okay? So meron tayo 95.44% chance of falling yung score na yon within 2 standard deviations from the mean. It's either from the left or from the right. Okay? That's 95.44%. And for the F, since we have 1, 2, and syempre meron din tayong 3 standard deviations. So if we have from this below and above 3 standard deviations, we have the area as 99.74%. Okay, 99.74% of the area of normal distributions is within 3 standard deviations of the mean. Sabihin lang nun, is there's a chance na doon ma-fall din yung ibang mga data natin or scores. Okay? So if we have the area of 1, 1, that is 68.26, 68.26, and then the second one is 95.44, and yung 3, 3 is 99.74%. Okay? We need to tawag dito, we need to parang i-absorb lahat ng 6 characteristics ng ating normally distributed set of data. It's because we need those to understand what is doing on our data na ating i-represent sa ating statistics. Okay? Now let's review. From A to E. Okay, yung una natin in normal distribution is symmetric about its mean. So this side and this side are symmetric. They are equal. Okay? Yung B natin, mean, median, and mode are all equal. So nasa gitna lang sila lahat. That's for B. A normal distribution is thicker at the center and less thick at the tails. It's because mas maraming data ang mas malapit sa mean kaysa yung mga data na malayo sa mean. That is thicker. Okay? D. Yung ating 1, 1, that is 68.26%. 2, 2, 95.44%. And 3, 3, 99.74%. Okay? So let us have a deeper understanding about the DEF. Okay, so those kind of percentages, okay, it will fall to this rule, which we call it as empirical rule. Okay, empirical rule states that 68.26% of the scores fall within 1 standard deviation away from the mean. 95.44 is fall within 2 standard deviations away from the mean, and 99.74% of the scores fall within 3 standard deviations away from the mean. Okay? So yung sinasabi na empirical rule natin. And also, if we have those empirical rule, meron din tayong mga data na nasa labas. Okay, what I mean is, if I have here a normal distribution, mean 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, ito yung 1, 2, 3 natin. What if there are data that are outside? Okay, yung mga data na nasa labas ay tinatawag na outliers. Okay, outliers. Outliers. Okay, scores that are more than 2 standard deviations away from the mean. So ito yung mga medyo nasa labas na ng ating empirical rule. Okay, so dun yung mga tatawag natin yung mga outliers. Okay, outliers. A normally distributed set of data has a mean of 5 and a standard deviation of 2. The score 10 is an outlier because it lies 2 standard deviations above the mean. So medyo malayo na yung 10 doon sa ating nasa gitna. Paano malalaman yon? So we need to use the 6. The 6. No. This is not the 6. Only 3. It's because our first step para malaman kung above or below siya is we need to minus, okay, or compare these two. Tama? Since our x or score is greater than the mean, that means nasa taas siya or above. So, ang gagamitin lang natin is this one. Okay? Mean is 5 plus 2 is 7. And then, mean, that is 5 plus 2 times 2, which is 9. 5 plus 3 times 2 is 6, that is will be 11. Since our score is above, okay, nandito na siya, above doon sa ating second or 2 standard deviation rule, that means yung score na 10 is already an outlier. Okay? Outlier. Tandaan kapag mas mataas na siya, doon sa 2 standard deviation, outlier na siya. Kung mas mababa siya, doon sa 2 standard deviation below the mean is isa na siyang outlier. Okay? So we will just concentrate on the second part. Okay? Kapag luwag pa siya doon, isa na siyang outlier. Okay, so we also have another type of outlier which is extreme. Okay? Yung extreme naman is yun na yung talagang malalayo. Sobra na siya doon sa ating standard deviation. Paanong malayo is because here is scores that are more than 3 standard deviations away from the mean. For example, our mean is 15 and our standard deviation is 3. The score that we need to find is 5. Saan siya naglalay? Okay? It's an extreme outlier because it lies 3 standard deviations below the mean. Okay? Since this one is below, so ang gagamitin natin is yung tatlo. This one is minus. Okay. 15 minus 3, that is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. See? Yung 5 is wala pa dito sa tatlong to. Correct? So, ibig sabihin, isa na siyang extreme outlier. It's because it's already below this one. So, nasa ilalim pa niya. So, ibig sabihin, isa na siyang extreme outlier. Okay, again, let us differentiate those two. Kapag sinabing kapag sinabing share. Okay. So kapag sinabing yan, outlier and extreme outlier. To be called outlier or extreme outlier, dapat yung ating scores dito sa outlier is it's either above or below the two standard deviations. Okay? Above or below the two standard deviations. Doon naman sa extreme outlier, it must be above or below the three standard deviations. Okay? So yung pinatandaan ninyo, kapag outlier lang siya, 2 standard. Kapag extreme outlier na siya, is 3 standard deviations. Okay? Easy. And so let us find or let us do some exercises. Example number 1. In a normally distributed set of data containing 5,624 scores, okay, how many scores are expected to fall within one standard deviation away from the mean? Okay? So, how many scores kaya ang magfo-fall doon sa ating 1-1? Ano yung 1-1 natin kanina? Ilang percent yung 1-1 natin? That is 68.26%. So, ilang scores ang mapupunta doon sa area na yon? Okay, this one is the one standard deviation. Hindi kayo malito. Okay, so this will be our solution. Okay, according to the empirical rule, 68.26% of the scores would fall within one standard deviation away from the mean, correct? So to get the number of scores that are within that range, we get 68.26% of 5,624. So paano makukuha yun? 68.26% off. Off means times, right? And paano mag-multiply ng percentage sa number? We will find first or transform 68.26% into decimal. So paano yung decimal yan? Mag-move lang tayo ng 2 decimal places to the left. So meron tayong 5,624 multiplied by 0.6826 para makuha natin yung 68.26% ng 5,624. Okay? So if we will multiply them, the answer will be, or the approximate answer will be 3,839. Therefore, there are 3,839 of the scores are expected to fall within one standard deviation away from the mean. Okay? Easy. So, ang pinaka-technique dito is you must know the 3 empirical rules. Okay? Kapag meron tayong 1-1, that is 68.26%. Pag meron tayong 2-2, if I'm not mistaken, we have 95 point, we go memorize, we need to go back there. 95.44%. And for the 3 and 3, 99.74%. Okay, sasabihin naman doon sa given kung saan siya magpo-fall. Okay? So you must know those 3 percentages for you to find the total scores that can fall within those ranges. Okay? Ayan. So there's only one example for that one is because that is already easy kasi mag-multiply lang tayo nung sa empirical rule doon sa given na data or scores. Okay? So number two, a particular normally distributed set of data has a mean of 53.28 and the standard deviation of 8.41. Is the score 34 considered an outlier? Okay. Our question is about outlier only. If you can still remember, kapag sinabing outlier, dapat ay above or below the two standard deviations. Correct? So, dapat nasa either mas mababa siya sa 2 or mas mataas siya sa 2 standard deviations. Okay. Para malaman natin yan, of course, we need to solve. We have to find out first if this one falls on above or below. Ang ating given is 34. Ang ating mean is 8.41. Ang ating point is 8.5. No, our mean, sorry. Yan. Yung ating mean is 53.28. So since yung x natin is less than the mean, so it will fall doon sa above. Okay, so ang ating gagamitin mga formulas are yung minus na formulas natin. Okay, so we have the standard deviation, our mean minus standard deviation, 53.28. Okay, so dito lang magsasolve para may space tayo. Is equal to 53.28 minus 8.41. So, paano sila magpa-minus? Yan. So, 7, 2, and then 8, and then 4, and then 4, and then 4. So, we have 44.87. That's the first one. Second one, and the second one natin, we have the mean, which is 53.28 minus 2 times 8.41. Okay, if we will do the one here, 2 times 8.41, we have 2, we have 8, and we have 60. Okay, that's minus. This is 6. Okay, 6, and then carry 1, we have 4. Carry 1, we have 6. And 3. So we have the answer 36.46. Okay. And then the last one, 53.28 minus 3 times 8.41. 28 minus 3 times 1 is 3, 12, carry 1, so it's 24, 25. 5, 0. This one is 8, and then 2. So we have 28.05. And so after finding those answers, what differences between these formulas? Hanapin naman na natin yung ating score, which is 34. Kapag yung ating score is mas mababa pa siya doon sa ating pangalawa, okay? 2 standard deviations na yan, that means isa siyang outlier. Okay? So let's see. Our second here is 36.46. So, since mas mababa yung score natin na nandito, mas mababa siya doon sa pangalawa natin, that means this is considered as an outlier. So the answer here is yes. Okay? So is the score 34 considered an outlier? The answer is yes. It's because of our solution just like this. Okay? Easy. Easy, right? Okay, so I will send your activity in the Keeper account or QSA, and you can send your activity until Saturday also. Okay, so see you again next time for the 6th week of our statistics and probability class. Bye.